Hello and welcome to Franchise Fight Night, another iteration coming to you live Tuesday. I am joined with Boss in the caster's booth. Boss, how are you doing today?
My man, I am doing great. I'm glad to be back on a cast for twos here and see some solid matchups. How are you doing, my man?
I am doing good. Long day at work, but you know what they say, nothing quite cures that like some good RSC Rocket League. So I'm feeling great. We've got an exciting franchise fight night ahead of us. We have the Cosmos, who are the fourth seeded franchise, taking on the number one seeded franchise, Espionage. And before we kick off with a deeper dive into our matches, we can talk you through a little bit, if it's your first time, with us at Franchise Fight Night, what we're really all about. Essentially, two orgs that are competing head to head for the week have three teams each that play each other across Tuesday night. Um, we have some franchise standings to go through today. Then we'll be hearing from the GMs and or AGMs from both of the franchises, so from Espionage and from the Cosmos. At 8:30, we'll be going into the first match of the night, which is a challenger matchup between Sleeper Agents and the Solar Flares. Then we will be going into a rival matchup at 9:05 with Hypernova versus Stealth. And finally, we will be capping it all off at 9:45 p.m. Eastern with a matchup between the Pulsars from the Cosmos franchise and Covert Ops from the Espionage franchise. So, a ton of great action with us today, and between each game, the winning team's captain will be joining us in the booth for a post-game interview. So, a ton of action, a ton of opportunity to hear from some of these awesome players that are out here today. And I'm feeling really great. How does that sound to you, boss?
Oh man, it has me really excited. These should be some pretty solid matchups, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these games.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at some franchise standings now. We are, let's say, what is this? About um, 3/4 of the way through the season. We've got a few more weeks left of regular season, and then we've got playoffs. So, it's that time when all the franchises are having their captains huddle up and telling them, hey, these are your final few weeks to push for a playoff spot, bring some potential glory to your franchise. Take us through the franchise standings, boss.
Well, in first place, we've got Espionage. In second place, we've got Alphabet Soup. Third, we've got Underdogs here. Fourth, we've got the Cosmos. In fifth, we've got the Realm. I know I'm gonna butcher it, my man, but it's Euthymia?
You did a better job than I have, so I can't even blame
Look.
you.
All right. Going into seventh place, we've got the Bomb Squad. In eighth, we've got the Legion. And rounding out ninth place, we've got the Birdcage. So, you're definitely right. We've seen some of these teams shoring up, but we've still got some opportunities left on the board. Cosmos, like tonight, really have a good shot in solidifying a playoff spot.
And I think it really comes down to how each franchise's team will do over the 9 games that they will play tonight. The thing about twos is the games are quick, the series are over, before you can blink. And I've heard players say, it takes a game for you to really kind of warm up and get used to the opposition's play style. So really, each little segment of those 5 minutes, for 15 minutes total that a team will play, really, really, really counts. And you can see it here really in the standings as well. And I think Cosmos will be looking for a huge performance from their their franchise and their teams tonight to hopefully put some pressure on Espionage, who, by the way, are sitting quite pretty up there at the top with a 60.8% win record at this point. So, any other notable franchise seedings for you, boss? I know if you kind of look at that middle pack around 3, 4, 5, and 6, Underdogs, Cosmos, Realm of Euthymia, and To Be Determined, my franchise, the franchise that I'm an AGM for. there are really neck and neck. I think it's really just it's been a two-horse race this season. Espionage and Alphabet Soup pulled away, and then you've got the underdogs, the Cosmos, Realm of Euthymia, and To Be Determined, all kind of vying for um, just a higher franchise standing.
Well, for sure. I mean, literally 2.3% is all that really separates the Cosmos and to be determined. So there, it really is a solid bubble here with a lot of teams looking in, but quite frankly, it's really anybody's race.
That it is indeed. And for the Cosmos today, they're definitely going to have a tough matchup against Espionage, who, um, kind of just looking at the teams that they fielded across RSC 2s, they really have, some of the top rosters just across the board, in all the tiers, which is just very impressive as a franchise. And that's something that we will get down to when we're speaking with their GM or AGM, whoever's coming on with us tonight. But what what are your keys to success for the Cosmos team, boss, so that they don't, go 0-9 today? I think they'll be wanting to get some wins, and who better to hear from than the great boss?
Okay, don't hype me up too much here, my man. Twos, unlike a lot of other like games played with threes, you need really solid patience across the board, not to overextend too quickly up the pitch or to, quite frankly, push the ball away out of your control. You need to take a second, take a breath, set yourself up for a second or third touch here, and then follow it up for a good shot opportunity. We'll see some solid isolation plays, I'm sure, and maybe the occasional pass, but I think whatever team tonight has the greatest level of patience and the right determination is probably going to take the series.
I do not disagree with you, and I wonder if Tdeez, who will be joining us here in the next 10 seconds, disagrees with any of us. I don't think so. He will recognize that we are very smart individuals. So let's bring on Tdeez, as I drag him over into our media channel. And let's give a warm welcome to Tdeez, who normally is on the left-hand side of my screen when he's casting, but today he joins us in the big rectangular box for the GM AGM interview. Tdeez, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling really good. I got confidence in my teams. We're hitting a nice late season stride here. The challenger team's really turned it around. The rival team's looking to pick it back up, and Elite's starting to catch fire. So I got some good teams on stream. I know we're playing against some good teams, but I feel good. I feel confident, my boys.
That's all good and fun, Tdeez, but what I'm really interested in knowing is, out of all your teams, which one is your favorite child? What team do you really care the most about? If you had to leave all your teams on a deserted island, which one are you taking back home?
If I had a helicopter with just one extra seat, I mean, I'm on the rival team, so I feel like I'm already safe if I'm driving the helicopter here, leaving this deserted island. But I take my contender team with me. I mean, they have the best record in RSC. They're sitting at 33-6. They, I think, just broke a win record for the tier in twos. I was really happy with how they're performing. I worked a lot with them at the very beginning of the season, and I'm stoked to see where they go. They gotta be my favorite child as of right now.
The
But we love them all equally, though. This was all hypothetical.
Just like my parents told me. Boss, I'll hand it to you for your hard-hitting journalism question.
Jeez. TDs, with being in fourth place on the franchise standings, you've got two franchises right behind you within 2.3%. How important, like everybody always says, every match is important, but how important is tonight? How are these matches going to be for your franchise shaping up for the back half of the season?
Oh, tonight's huge, boss. I genuinely cannot stress enough how big of a test this will be for us, our guys, especially Thursday. I mean, we're playing against Espionage across the board, and they're the number one ranked franchise, I believe, right now. I think every single one of their teams is number one or number two in their tier. So we have 6 teams right now that are sitting either solidified in the playoffs or borderline playoffs. And I mean, if we can't walk away with a lot of 2-1s tonight, I mean, how much hope do you really have pushing forward, right? I mean, obviously, you know, anything can happen. You can lose 1-2, 0-3, and still make a deep run. But it's a big test, you know. Our rival team's 18 and 19. We have to walk away here with at least 2 wins. Our challenger team, I think, is 21 and 17 or 18, however that adds up. They got to walk away with a couple wins. And our elite team, I think, is a little bit further ahead. I think they're a little comfortable in playoffs right now. But again, I believe Espionage's elite team is the #1 team in their tier. So this might be a little bit of a early matchup with the finals. You know, who knows?
Definitely could be. I mean, especially if you guys make a solid playoff run. This could be setting us up for a solid rematch
Yeah.
later on.
I I think that is a strong possibility, and that's why I think tonight's super important. I think Thursday will be super important. We have the bye week, so these teams will not be playing on Thursday. And you know, I'm really looking forward to see how my guys can do.
That is awesome to hear, TDs. So tell me this. I'm curious because in the future I want to be a great GM and AGM like you. Share a little bit of insight into your team drafting strategy so that, I can copy it for next season, but also so we can learn about it a little more. Um, are you going for the most mechanical players? Are you going for the players that have the most heart and the most ambition? What is going on in TD's head as he's looking at that draft board on a weekend when we're drafting?
Yeah, good question. It varies dramatically tier to tier. You know, at the lower tiers, especially amateur and contender, I'm looking for people who want to play the game. I'm looking for people who show up for replay reviews, who play on off nights, who get together and really grind to improve. You're going to see dramatic improval from those tiers up until maybe challenger. Uh, then once we get to those middle tiers, you know, you look for a lot of mechanics. You can teach rotations. You can teach some other things. It's really hard to teach someone how to flip reset. Rob's been trying to teach me for years, and it's not working out. And then once you get to the top, I just want people that show up, man. Just in the premier tier, it's tough. There's a lot of cycle through of players. I think we've rotated through a couple already. Just getting people that you know show up on a weekly basis and put in a little bit of time. It's important.
Speaking of important factors going, I'm just going to jump right in here. Uh, so one thing Vigilant kind of talked about as a key to success, especially in twos where you're going to see a lot of isolation plays, is patience. Do you feel like you could agree with said statement that patience in determining, when to attack and when to maybe just keep possession is really going to be a key factor in tonight's, chance for success?
Patience is huge. You hit the nail on the head right there, especially when we're talking about twos. There is no third man. There's only two people on the team. So if you get caught overcommitting, if you get caught rushing to the ball and you make a slight whiff, which is common in a lot of the tiers we'll be seeing tonight, challenger and rival especially, you can get punished and you can give up an empty net to the opponent, and that is a huge disadvantage when you're giving up two freebies a game, right? It's hard to come back from that. So patience is the key. It's what I preach when I give replay reviews to people in twos is just don't overcommit. Trust your teammate. Let them cook. And then, you know, if the ball kicks out to you, you play it. If not, you're last man, right? So hopefully people listen to me. Hopefully I listen to myself. I can be a bit jumpy at times, but you know, it is what it is.
Hey, it's always easier to, just to preach than it is to sometimes,
Oh,
follow through.
100%.
That's why, I keep being told I need to flip reset, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, for sure. I think we have Thunda up right now on the screen at Vigil.
No, I definitely didn't make that mistake.
No, nope, not at all.
I think that's your cue,
Oh
TDs.
That is probably
god.
my cue. We can let Thunda come in
It is.
here.
And if this question wasn't asked, and I apologize because I am also in the background doing production stuff before we get Thunda in. Um, Question for you, TDs. What is your prediction across the board in 9 games? Do you go 9-0, 0-9, split it 4.5, 4.5? How is it looking for you?
9-0, Espionage stinky, Cosmos takes it all. They have no chance. I've been dying for someone some GM to say that when I was in the caster booth, so I guess I'll be the first one. I don't care. They're the number 1 seed. Stinky. Whatever Thunda says coming up here is just wrong. We take them all. Sweeps. Get out the brooms.
Perfect. I hope you wrote that down, boss, because I was in the middle of a production snafu. So, anyways, I want
Wait,
to
I'm supposed to be
thank.
taking notes?
Oh yeah, this is like class. Well, anyways, we've had Thunda on our screen
Oh
for quite a
god.
while, so I'm gonna bring Thunda in, and we're going to get cracking with Thunda. Thank you, Tdeez. You're my goat, even though we didn't show you. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. Shout out Vigil producing and casting tonight. Shout out Boss stepping in when we were down some casters. Thank y'all. And
Alrighty.
I'll leave and let Thunda take his cue.
Okay. Thunda, Thunda, Thunda. Can you hear us?
Yeah, man. You guys have me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you guys?
Good. We just heard from your opposition your opposition GM Tdeez, and he was
Hmm.
telling us how his Cosmos franchise is going 9-0 tonight. And I want to hear your thoughts on that. Where how do you feel like your teams are going to perform, knowing that you guys are the number one franchise across RSC 2s, and what do you think are the keys to success?
So I just want to ask real quick as a clarifying question. So Tdeez was the first one to say that he's going to go 9-0. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, and if he didn't say that, I put those words in his mouth just so we could get a spicy interview out of you.
Fair. Well, I got to say, I have a lot of respect for Tdeez and his franchise, and they're obviously fantastic. And I know Cryptic does as well. That said, I hate to do it to him, but it's going to be a 9-0 night for Espionage. Sorry, boys. And now, as far as the things that I think you should actually look at too, it's going to vary a little bit by tier, but for the most part, you're going to see consistency. I think these are some of our better tiers. For the most part, we've been fortunate that a lot of the tiers have been good, but these are some of the best. Elite in particular is fantastic. They just have a very well-rounded team. You honestly could put any combination of the three, and they'd probably be really good. I mean, you might. I have no idea what they're going to do tonight, but sometimes Slane and Virexa will play. Other times Slane and Ritter will play, and vice versa. And they're just all fantastic. We were very fortunate with a lot of good scouting and a very good draft. And again, credit goes to Cryptic there, and also a little shout out to Envy as well. Rival Jack, you've got Okanaz, who's I think should be here tonight, and then Mummified Raptor. It's funny. So Boz, you guys actually had him on. You had that team on stream. I want to say maybe a couple weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. Could be wrong. And that I was sitting there like just like what is going on? Because like there are certain times you're watching like, man, this team's too good to be like making these double commits. And it's funny because Mummified just didn't have a mic where you could understand what he was saying. And you literally just sounded like an alien every time he would talk. And you're like, huh, okay. I can kind of see where maybe you guys might have a little disconnect there. And so we got that fixed. Props to him. He got a sweet mic, and they've been just kind of excelling ever since. And Okanaz has been a great addition. I will just say for the record too, we had the number one overall pick and rival.
For the record.
Guy just left the server. Then we had another player who we picked him up. Was a high cap guy. Another one left the server. Just unreliable people. Then we came up with Okanaz as add-in. That team is still excelling and only getting better. And that's a props to those guys. They're fantastic. And then I would just want to add in. So we're gonna finalize with our Chally team and save the best to last, boys. Now, I don't know who's on their Chally team, or our Chally team, but I mean, hypothetically, it might be an AGN. But he's riding the bench. He's good. Arguably has a better IDR than the other two players, but we won't talk about that. But he's riding the bench because Pro G Money and Dayts are just friggin' insane together. And they're just going to put it to the other team. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for Tdeez and his franchise. Rob, they're all good guys, but sorry, they're not going to get anything close to a 9-0 tonight. They're going 0-9.
Well,
Wow.
boss, he sounds quite confident, and he has a lot of good reason to be that confident. So I'm gonna let boss take it away with the next question from our desk.
Look, man, I think Thunda has covered it, quite frankly, as great as anybody could. Really gave a
Thank
solid
you.
breakdown on each of his tiers. But Thunda, I've only got one real question. technically speaking, how is this going to impact your Starfield playthrough?
That's the beauty of this. So this is actually during the day. So if you boys don't know, this day's actually my birthday. Got off work a little early, got to chill.
Oh man.
So good news, there's still plenty of time for Starfield. And actually, I got a committee meeting later on this week about artificial intelligence. So you know what? I get to read up on that later too. So they all kind of merging together. It's fine. But I appreciate you asking. It's a good question. Anybody out there who doesn't know, Baz is a huge gamer, shockingly, knows everything. I just
Oh
pick his
man.
brain for all this stuff. Like, hey man, how do I do this? And he's like, well, it's funny you asked that. Strokes the beard a little bit, and be like kind of puts a hand through the hair and just says, I think I might know this answer.
Look, I don't have a lot of other hobbies, all right? Let's just leave it at that.
No, that was a compliment. That was by no means anything negative. I'm sure you're good
No,
at a
you're
lot of things. Just gaming is one of them, and I appreciate you sharing your knowledge.
Oh, no big, man, no big. I just love hanging out with you guys over in the other server. It's a lot of fun.
It's true. We all make fun of Anthony. It's great. He falls asleep on us. We talk about him. Also, if you're watching my dog behind me too, he literally just almost fell up the bed, jumping up there, which is great. Not happy for him. He's a little older dog, but it's a good metaphor. Sometimes you don't make it up, but you just got to keep pulling.
So, Thunda, I want to give you this opportunity to convince the next draft class that'll be coming in to join the Espionage franchise. Tell us a little bit about the support you're providing these players and kind of you talked about how great these players are that you've found that you've um, brought into your franchise, but what have you guys provided to them that's really helped them excel? And what has kind of been the philosophy there? Who are the key parts of this espionage franchise that really support the players to kind of help them get these awesome performances week in, week out?
Well, thank you for the T-ball question, sir. I do appreciate that. And I'm going to start with let you know where my failures are at. So if you guys don't know, I started multiple seasons ago as a GM in the twos league, and I was terrible. Like our teams were just not good. And I think sometimes you have to just kind of be down at the bottom, right? And just kind of learn like maybe this is what I don't do. Like it kind of hurts your pride a little bit if you have any bit of an ego. And you know, let's be real, right? The best part about RSC is the people, hands down. Like the people are the greatest part. And scouting is a big part of it. You have to get the right people in the front end. Like we had, and this killed me. We were blessed with really good sign up numbers, and I can say this as an admin, obviously, and the AGM. We were blessed with good sign up numbers. It was great. The problem is we had too many people, and we were drafting like 7 people for like rival and vet, and without getting extra picks, and it's hard. Now that said, other teams have maybe taken our picks completely and used them as a starting lineup and been very competitive, which makes me think we had a really good draft, which is credit to Crypto Envy. I'd like to take some credit myself. There's also credit to our captains and people who else helped us because the whole franchise. You got to start from the beginning, right? If you don't draft well, the whole season is going to be really rough after that. After that, it's basically replay reviews, kind of helping people. I think a lot of the time it's just also listening, right? Because people are people. And I think that really it's a video game, but shockingly, like real world, not that far away from video games. And you have to ask people like, hey, what's going on? Like you have to care and be a decent person. But at the same time, you have to be like, all right, how do we fix this? And maybe somebody's a little bit needs to work on something. Well, you help them work on it, right? And maybe it's gameplay, maybe it's rotation, maybe it's just social skills and talking with people and caring and hearing them out. I found that works really well. So pretty much everything, and then just kind of giving them stats, trying to give them as much as possible. Here's what your opponent's going to be doing. Here's the things you can focus on. Are you going to look, likely to get demoed? Are they basically a team that spends a lot of time on the defensive end, counterattacking, stuff like that? As much as we can provide to the teams, we try to provide them and help them, and that's a credit to their captains, and it's a credit to Cryptic too. He fosters a great environment. Obviously, I stepped down last season, and I give all the credit in the world to him. He's done a fantastic job taking over. So golf clap. I mean, you guys talked to him a couple weeks ago. Dude's awesome. Beautiful, beautiful voice too. Mysterious because he didn't have the cam on, but there's still time for that. But he gets a lot of credit, and the captains get credit because you got to install the right people to run the teams. If you're not, then it's going to be, for lack of a better term, a mess. And so I think you have to get the right people, and I think we've done that for the most part. And then you just have to have the faith in them. They're trying to, kind of like steer the ship a little bit in the right direction. So there's a lot of people that are so far that are get credit for this, And there's a lot of people that think that will get credit for it. Hopefully, if we can keep Mark a little bit behind us, because he's doing a great job and he runs a great franchise.
Well, I don't know about you, boss, but I'm ready to put 007 next to my name and sign for the espionage. I know
Vigil,
you're.
real quick, can I give a shout out to all the people who might be watching who haven't joined RSC yet?
Yes, go
All right,
ahead.
boys, I'll be real quick because I know you guys got a stream to do. If you're here and you haven't joined RSC yet, RSC has threes, obviously. We're the twos league. Obviously, we've done our job, and Vigil gets all the credit in the world. And Boz, you guys do a great job, all of you. We won't talk about the Tdeez guy because we're facing him today. But they do a fantastic job of trying to like distinguish ourselves and make ourselves different. But if you like twos, you're a two-centric player, you would love this league. You might have to wait a little bit. We're probably not going to start the next season until the new year, but that's okay. Get involved, kind of start asking questions, start talking to people. It's a fantastic league. You'll love it, and you'll be surprised how much you enjoy it. And if you commit yourself and you really kind of like, open yourself to, like criticism and you open yourself to like working with people, it's a phenomenal experience. And I can't tell you how many people I've met that I would just are going to be very good friends for a long time. So great experience. So I hope you guys all join RSC if you haven't yet. Thanks, Vigil.
That was a fantastic shout out, and I appreciate you keeping it short and to the point and really just putting out a great message for RSC2s and honestly RSC in general. So, with that, Thunda, we will be concluding the GM interview, but something tells me that we will be seeing you in Cryptic back around playoff time in at least one of the tiers. And maybe I just jinxed it. I have that kind of power as well. So, thank you again, Thunda. And now, boss, we will transition to looking at some of these team stats before our challenger matchup of the night.
Thanks, boys. Have a
Sounds
great
like
night.
good plan. You have a good night, Thunder.
So, boss, we've got solar flares from the Cosmos taking on sleeper agents in the challenger tier. And right up on our screen and the screen of our lovely viewers is the team stats. Take us through those.
So, like we were saying, like on paper, really Espionage is setting themselves apart here. They're 23-9. They've got 127 goals for, and they've only got 83 goals against. They're really controlling the midfield very well. They're maintaining control of the ball, and they are capitalizing on their opportunities. I mean, they are legitimately just churning shots. I mean, Dates alone, 144 shots. Uh, it's we'll get into more player stats in a second, but I mean, for sure on paper, this looks to be a little bit one-sided, but this gives the Solar Flares really a David versus Goliath opportunity here. If they can knock off the sleeper agents in this tier, it'll be tremendous.
It definitely will be. And honestly, going to your point, I was looking at the team stats, and I can see them before everybody else because I'm the producer. But I was looking at the team stats, and I was like, wow, Envy from the Cosmos, 40 goals. That's like 39 more than I would have had in a season. But then sleeper agents, you've got two players, Dace and Progy Money, and I mean Thunda wasn't lying when he was saying those two are really a rock solid duo. 50 goals almost apiece. Progy Money needs to score one today. Um, and look at the amount of shots they're taking too. I think really they're this is going to be an offensive heavy game from Espionage, but I don't see Solar Flares back, or sorry, from Sleeper Agents, but I don't see Solar Flares backing down either. I think it'll be a good old fashioned shootout.
I think so too, and it's gonna offer us an incredible opportunity to watch just some high-powered offense duking it out. Neither team really uh playing the part of the defenders. Neither one of them really has a lot of goals against. I think 89 was the amount Solar Flares had. Sleeper Agents only had 83, so there's only 6 different there. But I mean, these are two offensive heavy teams, and they're going to be trading blows in the ring here tonight.
That indeed. Um, how about a pregame prediction? Tell us what you think the series score is going to be, and then also tell us what you think the first game score is going to be.
I'm totally in threes mode. It is only 3 matches per series, right?
Yes, 3 matches per
Okay.
series.
Totally blanked out there. So I'm glad we could cover that. So it's hard for me not to give the sleeper agents the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, on paper, they're the better team. You know, obviously with having Peak Legend and Envy on the same team, there you could never really count them out. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and say I think the Sleeper Agents are gonna take a 2-1 series win over the Solar Flares.
2-1 win over the Solar Flares. And let me look into my crystal ball that is right in front of me on my desk and see what I can predict. You know, I really think I agree with you. I think Sleeper Agents, and I hate to bet against Tdeez, but I'll give him some benefit of the doubt during our later games tonight. But I think the Sleeper Agents take this 3-0, and it's just going to be an amazing performance from dayts and Pro G Money. So those are my predictions, and now I am going to awkwardly ask you to fill some of this silence as I try to figure out where one of the teams is and why they aren't in my lobby. So give me a few minutes, talk about whatever you'd like with the chat. Maybe do chat predictions. You're the pro boss. I'm just the understudy.
I love that you say you're the pro, like I have access to anything in the Twitch stream. I literally don't. I actually also need to make sure I get in this solid lobby so I can at least watch the games. It's normally a lot easier to cast when you can see the games live. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um,
And you know
my
what's crazy? I was about to tell you what lobby info was over stream. So thank God
yo, let's not,
thank God I didn't do that, huh? Great.
dude.
Looks like we have everybody here. So I am going to hit spectate and
You good for me to let them know it's time to get
get the
some
cars
games going?
rolling. Yes, indeed. I hear the engines rumbling, boss.
We are going to be getting a solid matchup right here. We've got Peak Legend and NV on the pitch against Pro G Money and Dates. Getting the kickoff here. That's going to be kicked out to the side. My, I do love casting some twos. It's a lot simpler. Thankfully, the ball is going to be in control a little bit more. We'll see this kind of get popped up here. NV centering it. That's a shot on for Pro G Money, who puts it away. It's only 14 seconds in, Vigil, and we've seen the first goal.
That's unfortunate for Envy in the new Porsche. I know that's not the touch he was looking for, but, you know, boss, the game's really early. That might have come a little bit too quick to him for that touch. He centers it, unfortunately, to the opposition team. Dayts with the touch up high to the right. Pops it. Good 50 by Sleeper Agents. Pro G Money with a 50 to the corner. Peak with his catch. Goes up the wall. Air dribbling, pushing it to Envy, who's waiting in the middle. Shot on net. Big save by his Sleeper Agents.
Ooh, Dates has control here. It gets away. That's going to be center, though. Pro G Money putting it away. Second goal on the game already for Pro G Money. But what an incredible play from Dates to read the contact, backflip a little bit to stop any form of momentum from the ball going out, and to recenter it back for their teammate. And I'm sorry, in a twos match, that is perfection. Getting your teammate squared up with the open net right in front of the goal. Great, incredible play here. Envy putting it off the sidewall. Dates is going to push the pace. It's going to go off the corner here. Tries to get the touch, but can't pop it up, so Envy is going to take control. Sends it deep. That's going to go off the backboard. No. Pro G Money cutting out the offensive opportunity. Peak Legend tries to play patient. Pro G Money with a very opportune spawn. Dates gets underneath it. They 50 install. It's going to go off the backboard. Dates cuts back in, but Peak Legend hangs out, playing free safety almost to keep this from going in. Whew. Vigil, this is incredible back and forth action, but it's really looking like Sleeper Agents are kind of just keeping the game played to their style. They're really taking control here.
Solar Flares have had a bit of a rough start to this game one, and I think Peak and Envy are probably in comms right now talking about how they want to set up a little bit more offensive pressure in the Sleeper Agents half. maybe look for some passing plays, some touches that, you know, go to a teammate rather than turning over quick possession. But that's really going to be a great goal from Dayts, who makes it 3-0, right as I was talking about what Solar Flares needed to do. Good read. Envy goes for the squishy from the net, can't get a touch on it, and Sleeper Agents have taken a comfortable lead with half the match, or more than half the game, still yet to be played.
Well, and that's such a rough one, too. A little bit more patience there on the goal line probably would have set them up with an opportunity to really contest that. But by committing to the squishy save and committing to, the placement of where you're going to go, it really limits your horizontal ability to change your direction. And quite frankly, it was just a really rough chance at a save there. But Pro G Money already has it back on the third, decides to go for the pack pass to Dayts. We're going to get a center here. Peak Legend gets bumped into that, I think, actually. Envy gets the deep touch, gets it over one. That's going to go in favorably into the corner, but Peak Legend can't take the ball. Pro G Money's going to push, gets the 50 split. That's going off the backboard. Dayts once again. Envy. Oh, no. Unfortunate, as now the Sleeper Agents in game one have extended this lead 4-0.
Man,
Vigil.
I am getting sick and tired of seeing Dates' goal explosion on my screen, boss. He is having a game for himself. 52 goals on the season. The 2 over here take him past the 50 mark, which he has to be very happy about.
Well, you gotta wonder, as we're looking at this match, you really... With only 3 games in the series, it's going to be really tough to kind of hit the regain, especially with Pro G Money putting it away again, solidifying the hat trick. This game really looks to be getting out of hand already.
Bit unfortunate for Solar Flares. Tough way to start franchise fight night, but I think they've got to be telling each other in the comms. Tough start, you know, we've got 2 more games. 1 game doesn't make the series. Like I was saying earlier in the night, you know, it takes a game to really kind of figure out your opposition, right, boss? Like what they're doing, what their play style is. And there's, you know, there might not be a lot of this game left, but there's definitely a lot of game left across this Challenger series tonight.
For sure, but we kind of expected that this Sleeper Agents team would be astounding, right? They were, what, 33-6 coming into tonight? I believe was the record. I could be wrong. Or no, it was 25-9, right? Like, I think... Hold on. I am all kinds of sideways right now. Anywho, they had a lot of wins, and I know that it was, like, we were clearly looking at one of the better teams in Challenge by far. And they're really just playing solid team ball, setting themselves up, setting up their teammates, and just pressing the ball into an opportunistic option. Dayts, it's going to push us off the backboard here. Envy with the center. We have an option for Peak Legend, and he slots it in the bottom right, far out of the reach of the goalkeep, and incredible with the placement. That's going to open them up here and keep them from getting shut out this game.
They're coming back, I swear to God, boss. Trust me.
Oh, buddy, don't
I've
even.
Seen the future. I've seen the future. There's a minute. It could happen. Crazier things have happened. They would
My
have
man,
to
if they
score.
come back being down 6-0, I will eat my whole hat.
They're going to have to score a little bit quicker than this right now, though.
Ooh, we got it. Strap in center. Dayts is going to press. It's going to go deep. That's an option. Oh, the unfortunate touch by Pro G Money has it clanging off the post. Dayts takes control again. Envy's got to get up there to contest this. They are off the back wall. Peeking. Jumps off the back wall. Gets control. They're going to push this up the wall and take this for an aerial touch. The bump from Pro G Money sends Peak straight to the moon. And Dayts might be able to corral this for another goal. Can't get around the ball. Envy playing incredible box-out defense there to prevent the Brazil. Looks like they're just going to let this die out here. No, they get the flick that's going to go off the backboard, sending it center, and it just isn't going to go. That's going to end this game 6-1.
That's a tough way to start your franchise fight night if you're on Solar Flares. But really, boss, I didn't think and I know the scoreline doesn't look too great for them, but I don't think they did a ton wrong. Yes, the Sleeper Agents roster is a really strong roster, and I mean, wow, look at that, 860 points by Pro G Money. But ultimately, I would just like to see the Solar Flares players, Peak and Envy, try to put together a few more connected plays. It almost kind of felt like in offense, one of them was going up at a time, and they're really just not at that mechanical level yet where you can only send one person and stuff turns out okay because they've got, insane Prem tier mechanics. So I think they just really have to kind of work with each other to try to bring this series back. What do you think?
I think, especially with the way they looked at the back end of the game as compared to the beginning, they're definitely showing signs of life, and it's looking promising going into these last two matches. But I think you're right. I think going in for the isolation play is a little difficult this early on, especially when you're in the Challenge tier. Look for your teammate. Take a second, play a little bit more patient, let the play develop. That way you can look for an infield pass or maybe off the corner or off the backboard, just something so you can feed your teammate. I mean, we saw Sleeper Agents doing that efficiently with like a deadly accuracy through that first match. So they were just dropping at center, and it pays off. It's in twos. Setting up your teammate is just as important as the ISO play. You're right. They just got to look for their teammates.
Quick predictions. What do you think this game is going to turn out to be?
I think this game is going to turn out to be 5-3 in favor of the Sleeper Agents. I think we're going to see some greater life and offensive opportunities here from the Solar Flares, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to really flip the entire swing of the game. What are you thinking here?
I'm hoping that the Sleeper Agents take a 5-0 lead and then the Solar Flares come back, because I really was hoping to get to see you eat your hat last game. But I would agree. I think a 5-3 sounds like a reasonable scoreline, and I'm really impressed, Boss, by how dominant the Sleeper Agents offense is. As Dayts takes a touch to his corner, Envy's underneath him. Dayts with a touch out of the wall. Bumps Envy, keeps going with it. Can he go all the way with a dunk? Dayts! 1-0 to the Sleeper Agents.
And normally you see a player avoiding the contact. You want to see a little bit more control with your car so you can get a flick or something, but Dayts says no. I'm just going to take the ball, go through your defense, score this beast mode style, and just say, hey, goal number 1 on the board already. And, it was just a thing of beauty, Vigil. Just a thing of beauty. Already in a dangerous opportunity again. That's going to bounce center. Bounces low. Oh! I can't believe they didn't get credit with a save there. That looked like that was a shot on target. Peak Legend probably should have a save and another 60 points. Demo is there. Sorry, go ahead, my bad.
No, I was going to say blame it on the fact that his teammate is using a Dominus as Peak puts a shot on net.
Whoa. We getting Dominus hate out here? What is this?
Envy trying to air dribble in the midfield. Dayts underneath the ball in the opposition half. Can he put it towards net? Pro G Money, does he follow up? Misses. Both Peak and Pro G Money miss.
I cannot believe you gave Dominus hitbox hate. What a bar down ski. Pro G Money getting their own goal here. Wow. I don't think that could have been placed any higher. And I'm not going to let that slide, Vigil. As a Dominus main, I can't believe you would just throw shade like that live on stream. That's crazy.
I apologize. I like my cars to have a larger hitbox than a paper plate. Great clear from Dayts. Goes off the ceiling. Can he get a ceiling pass? Peak Legend air dribbling in the midfield, needs to bring this ball towards the Sleeper Agents half, though they're playing way too much in their own half right now, boss.
Well, and we saw this on the stat sheet. The Sleeper Agents really control the midfield. 83 goals against, I think it was, 144 goals for? So they're really pressing into the opponent's half, and they're peppering the defense like we just saw here. 5 touches off the backboard equates to a goal, and it works because it gets the defenses flustered, and it's just going to keep paying off. If the Solar Flares really want a good chance to take a stab at stealing this game and making a comeback here, they're going to need to start picking up pads a little bit more and maintaining the midfield.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that Envy needs to switch out of the Dominus.
Oh, wow. Okay, I
Came back,
see.
came back for round 2, did I? Envy with a dribble on the top of his Dominus, though, isn't able to get it to go. Peak's going to keep possession, takes a 50. Can he get another touch? Pro-G Money opts not to go up, misses the backboard clear. Envy with a shot towards net. Good pressure here now from Solar Flares. They need to score one if they quickly if they want to bring it back, boss.
They really do. With only 2 minutes left, we have an opportunity here. That's going to go off the backboard again. Pro G Money, though, chooses not to slap it into Peak Legend, which allows them to really push it back onto the Solar Flares third. Dayts goes for the lift. Can't get it over Peak Legend. Peak Legend gets the demo. That's an open net. Oh, but Dayts, speedy as ever, gets back to the ball, takes the boost, shoves it downfield, gets the recovery, and oh my, cleaning up their own mess to put it away with the hat trick. And Vigil, you know, we talked about last game starting to get away from them. This is that same point. We're really hitting that cusp of viability for coming back in a game. And being down 4-0 is a tough one, but it's not impossible in twos.
They've just got to go quick. They've got to take their shots right here. Envy isn't able to finish it. Post and out. Dayts takes the possession. I'm not sure what version of the Dominus he's using, but it keeps working. He gets his goal on the night. 5-0 to the Sleeper Agents. It looks like they have this one comfortably tucked away, boss.
So Dayts is actually using a beautiful, beautiful car from the original Champions Crate series. I can't remember which exact series, but it's the Dominus GT. Same hitbox, but one of the first non-original cars to come out. It was a beautiful, beautiful piece. Gonna get a little 50 here. It's gonna go off the backboard. Oh, Pro G Money couldn't elevate to put him up 6-0. But Peak Legend gets caught in a weird spot as Dayts flips a 180 and pops the chipper. Easily going higher than the goal, but coming right down and squaring them away 6-0.
We are currently in an eat your hat situation if Peak Envy can bring this one back. With a minute left, there's not a lot of hope, but
Eat your hat situation.
Peak, the ball kicks out to him. He takes his shot, puts it off of the wall. Both Peak and Envy are committed a little high up here. Dayts maneuvers it into the corner. Can he get a cross over to his teammate? Envy clears it out. Peak connects. Pro G Money is already up. Dayts takes it off of him. It doesn't seem like a lot of sustained pressure for Solar Flares, or a lot of dangerous pressure. And I'm not sure if they're going to have enough time. Actually, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have enough time with 30 seconds left. Do you think they're already starting to think about the third game? At the end of the day, boss, a 1-2 is still a good result with how each game matters in RSC.
Oh, 100%, especially with how these franchises were stacking up win percentage-wise. One game here still really matters for their franchise. With the way they're coagulating and spending a lot of time right together in twos, that's really, really dangerous. It allows your opponents to catch the ball or go for a boom counterattack and really, really catch you off guard. If they're going to win game 3, they really need to spread out a little bit, fake a little bit, because these Sleeper Agents are playing extremely aggressive. Fake a touch or two, catch them off guard, and try to start hammering home some goals of your own. But at the rate we're going, 12 shots again for Sleeper Agents. I think they had 13 shots in game 1, so they are not slowing down by any means whatsoever here, Vigil.
So, boss, tell me, what tier are you in the threes league? I'm curious.
In the threes league, I am elite.
Elite. That is much higher than me, and thus you are the expert at the desk. So, boss, tell me.
Wow.
In 30 seconds, I mean, and you use a Dominus. That's insane. No, I'm kidding. In 30 seconds, tell me, what do Solar Flares really need to do, or is it just that Sleeper Agents are that much better? And I'm struggling to see, like, I know Sleeper Agents are a top team, and the whole Espionage franchise is as well, but, like, there can't be this much of a gap. Do you think that maybe the occasion is getting too much for Solar Flares? Do you think they need to maybe calm some nerves? I'm not sure if this is the first time they've played on stream. I haven't seen them here before on the 2 stream. What do you think they need to do if you had to sum it up?
Well, I haven't seen them before, so it's kind of just speculation. But from what I've seen, it could be nerves, it could be comms, uh, it could be just a little bit of just being on stream. But they're grouping up and they're playing for every touch, and in twos especially, you don't have to touch the ball every time. Hesitations and fakes can change the pace of play and throw a bit of a curveball against your opponent that they're not ready for. Dayts has been exploiting that so well. He's reading the contact through each hit, and he's choosing whether or not he's ready to touch the ball or if he's going to let them hit it first and give him an opportunity. And you see, like right here, unfortunately, we get a double up where solar flares are kind of together, bouncing off each other, and it lets this Sleeper Agents team really just shove it downfield, recover, find where the ball's going to rebound, and then put it away. And instead of Pro G Money saying, hey, I'm going to stick with it, he's playing incredible twos matches where he's saying, hey, I'm going to leave the ball for Dayts. I'm going to let Dayts put it away. That goal is a goal for the team. It doesn't matter if it's for me or them. It's just I don't want to say that Sleeper Agents are that much further apart, but it is definitely looking like one team's ready to play solid twos teamwork and the other is really just kind of catching their footing.
Well, Peak Legend has just equalized for the Solar Flares. I think this is the first time that Solar Flares and Sleeper Agents have tied the score up, besides it being 0-0, obviously. Maybe this is a sign of what's to come, boss. Do you think Solar Flares can get a foothold in this game and turn it around now?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I predicted the series would go 2-1. It's really tough to play consistent Rocket League and win all 3 matches in a series. Like all it takes is a team finally clicking and maybe their touches connect, or they finally see their teammate with the open pass and things just move on. So there's always an opportunity, which we have right here. If Peak Legend can put a boom on target, it's going to be wide right. Pro G Money takes control. Loses the 50, but Dayts is there. No, Peak Legend beats him to the ball. Dayts! Oh no! Peak Legend demoed by Pro G Money, who's in the air, setting it high off the backboard. Oh, what a placement! That gets slotted right behind the defender and will put them up 2-1.
The P in Pro G Money stands for Placement Pete, boss. He tucks it in the corner. Great play off the wall. I was just about to say, if Solar Flares can really make this game miserable for Sleeper Agents, slow the play down, don't let him get the lead, don't let him take the lead. Take some time off the clock. You never know what can happen in the last minute. Maybe they can pinch a second goal out of nowhere. But right now they're going to have to come back from down again with just over 3 minutes left in this game.
Well, and this game is looking a lot more favorable. The last 2 games, they've been down by about 3 or 4-0 at this point. So this is still a much better turn of events as compared to what it was last game. They definitely need to start avoiding some of these demos here, though, as it's really throwing the rotations out of whack. I think that's the 5th demo from the Sleeper Agents this game already. Dayts able to wait for that touch, pushes it downfield for Pro G. That's going to bounce very favorably, but Peak, or what was that? Bananalytics actually was sitting there ready for the clear. We have a double commit. Solar Flares kind of in an awkward spot. Bananalytics recovers for the boost. Can't get back to the ball though. Pro G Money with control. And Vigil with literally half the game left at this point. You gotta wonder how much pressure this Solar Flares team is starting to feel.
And boss, this might just be bad casting from me, but I just realized that Solar Flares subbed in Bananalytics for Envy. I was trying to look for the dominance on the field as Pro G Money tucks away the 3rd goal. Great finish by him. I think Bananalytics committed high up with with Peak Legend, unfortunately, over there. Both defenders quickly diving in at half field. Pro G Money's able to walk the dog home on that one. But I think with the substitute, they were able to keep this game a lot closer, like you were saying. They were able to work possession. I just think they need to be a little bit more tactical about where they're committing, who they're 50ing, and Pro
Oh,
G Money turns it in,
no.
boss.
That is just disrespectful. Pro G Money faking the contact, avoiding the 50, and then just dog walks it in for the 4th goal. I mean, that is just disrespectful. Pro G Money up again. Opportunity here to put him up 5-1. Fakes the first touch, goes up for the second. Bananalytics slots this high. That's going to go. Oh, it goes off post. No, the chance to put it 4-2 and start climbing back in this match. Clangs off the post here. Bananalytics, though, really getting some solid shots in. The score doesn't reflect very well. It's only 102 points on the board, but Bananalytics has really been changing how this game has been played between these two teams. And I want to clarify, Vigil. I also did not see Bananalytics sub in. I was totally out of the blue until I saw Tdeez said something about it. So, you know.
No, great moment here for Bananalytics as he tries to stake a claim for maybe a starting spot going forward. He's had some great shots, like you were saying. And I do want to point out, I don't think by any means Solar Flares have played bad. By no means. Challenger level Rocket League Tongue Twister. I think they're playing really well. And I think they've gotten some good touches. Yeah, they've been a little bit off the same page, both Envy and Peak, and now even Bananalytics and Peak when Bananalytics is in. But Rocket League has been solid. The touches have been, better than okay. They've been pretty good touches. I just think with the speed the sleeper agents have, sometimes you need that little tactical timeout to say, hey, maybe we play a little slower. Maybe we don't commit. Peak goes for a double tap. That was a high double tap. They're going to pay for it, but man, did it look good on the cameras.
I thought we were about to enter Clip City there, as I thought Peak Legend was going to get that double tap off the backboard. With it going wide right, though, like sleeper agents were just able to put that away, and this is going to be kind of a rough series. But from what I've heard, this Solar Flares team should be able to regain, catch maybe a replay review, meet up with your team, watch some good footage, and really just prep for next match day.
Yeah, and as Peak Legend keeps this up towards the end and goes for a little wall dribble at the 0-second mark, the game's officially done. 3-0 to the sleeper agents. But honestly, boss, if I'm the Solar Flares roster, I'm not too disappointed from the performance today. Yes, I get the scoreline doesn't show it, and they conceded 5 goals a game, or even a little bit more. But especially in that third game, for a while they hung in there, and sometimes it just happens, and especially in twos. You don't see this as much in threes, but in twos it's very apparent when you've come across a team whose play style just outplays you guys. Maybe there's just a mismatch. Maybe the way the other team plays is a lot different than you, and it just doesn't. You're not able to counter the other team's play style really well, and I think that might have been the case as well for Solar Flares. But at the end of the day, they're a really strong team with a really strong roster, and I think they will enjoy success going forward in the Challenge tier, especially as playoffs come soon.
Well, and especially with the opportunity to see this same matchup again in the future in the playoffs, it really isn't a loss so long as they take something away from this series. If they can take these replays and go, hey, we're sure we can just watch some footage, find out what it takes, what's the key to success, and get back and take next opportunity with 100% effort, they can really use this as just like a learning opportunity. They can swipe off the losses and go, hey, we're just going to come back stronger than ever. That would be a bit of a win in my book, to be fair.
Absolutely. And I think for the Cosmos, yeah, rough start. You never want to see your team start 3-0, and maybe I did have a crystal ball in front of me when I predicted that, and I apologize in advance, Tdeez. But they've got a chance now with their rival team, and what better way to take care of something than doing it yourself? And so when Tdeez is out there playing for the rival team tonight, I think he's going to feel like he has responsibility on his shoulders to right the wrongs that happen in this series. But like you were saying, all in all, this is a matchup that we will see at some point for sure again in the future. And I hope you're there with us for it, boss, on the Tdeez desk. But but yeah, I think as a team, rough outing, but not, a lot to be disappointed on. And as you were saying, really it comes down to take take the positive things out of it, get some heads down time, review what you need to review, and then make sure you come back stronger, right?
For sure. For sure.
And as I set up the next lobby, we are going to look to see if we can get Pro G Money, Dayts, and Thunda in here as well to do a post-game interview. Um, So we will wait on that. And Thunda's here, Dayts is here, Pro G Money is here. So I am going to switch to the interview scene in this fantastic little OBS I have, and we are going to talk to the victors of that game. Hello, hello, hello. We have the triple threat. Dayts, Pro G Money 1100. And the 1100 is the most important part about that because that's what his scores were each game. And Thunda, how are you guys doing today? And talk us through that game. What a fantastic performance by you guys, and the sleeper agents as a whole.
Real quick, I'm going to defer to both these guys real quick because they're the ones who did all the work, obviously. But real quick, if you guys haven't heard of Pro G Money, if you haven't heard of Dayts, you really should because they're both disgustingly good. Boys, how would you characterize the night? Dayts, you start.
Honestly, both very good teams, us and Solar Flares. The difference is just the synergy that Pro G Money and I have. If I'm not there for the ball, I already know he's going to be there. If I whiff the ball, he's going to be there all the time.
Bro, anything you'd add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, Solar Flares, they came out, guns blazing, but we came out with our cannons blazing. So, just a great game overall. They really tried their best, and we gave it our all, and definitely took the win there.
And that,
I'll just add real quick. We've actually scrimmed them and played them multiple times, and they've gotten the best of us a couple times too. I know, in particular, Dayts. Who's your favorite player on that team?
Probably bananalytics.
Well, I think you meant everybody, right? But
Oh, sure.
no, I'm playing. I was just messing with you. But no, Peak Legend has had a little bit of work, done a little bit of work on us before too. So we really want to make sure that didn't happen this game. But they're a very good team in particular. Nothing to be bad said about that team. They're going to be absolutely just fine come playoff time.
awesome. And I'll defer to Boss for the second question out of our question cannon.
We have question cannons?
I mean,
I have
I've
to
got one.
walk these over to the desk. What do you mean?
Do you guys have shirts too that come with these cannons, or?
That's what I'm thinking, man. I'm like, I'm just gonna steal one of these shirts and put it in my backpack for when I leave. No. I mean, okay. So I, called out potentially a key to success tonight being patience and Dayts. From what I watched there in that Tdeez matchup, you really seemed to embody that along the way. You really were looking for the reads. How important is it for you to really just watch and see what your opponents are going to do before you decide to make that push?
Honestly, in this level of gameplay, the only time you really score is when the other team makes mistakes. So I feel like when Pro G Money and I, we play very fast, as you can tell, but then we also know when to take our time. And when they're so used to the fast gameplay, when we slow down, it creates confusion for them. And then that just gives us the opportunity to capitalize on those goals and really read the play.
For sure, and it was recipe for success all series. All the props to you, because with embodying that all the way. I mean, I think the aggregate tonight was 18-2, I believe, through those three series matchups. So those 3 game matchups. So really solid play, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To be fair, we had a good night, but it could have gone the other way at another night too. So you never know.
That is true. And, consider me beyond impressed. You Challenge players have reignited my love for Rocket League with that performance. I'm very impressed. Last question quickly as we wrap it up. Well, I guess 2 parts of the question. First, how do you think your rival team Stealth is going to do against Hypernova. They're about to kick off in the next 5 minutes. And I guess question 1, part A, are you going to be watching that game? And the answer should be yes. And then to cap it off, also, feel free to take some time, each of you, to give shout outs to whoever you want. And thank you for coming on stream.
Real quick, if I'm gonna start this one off. By the way, I want to give my shout out to Pro G Money. By the way, we drafted Dayts because we had a feeling that he was going to be a good player. We did not have the opportunity to draft Pro G Money. We picked him up because someone else released him, which, obviously you had a lot of cuts this season. There were a lot of people drafted. But that said, we had a feeling and we were right. And this dude has more than rewarded us. He deserves all the props in the world. So as great as Dayts is, they're both an equal team. They're both freaking phenomenal. And really appreciate you guys both. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Don't calm down over there, okay? I know that beard is coming out right there, and you're like, man, I'm excited. But anyway, either way, I just want to point out that Pro G Money is great, and we also we love both these guys. So, boys, you take it away.
Yeah, so basically, Dan, so the shout out I'm gonna give to Thunda. Obviously, Gary and I we're a pretty good backbone, but Thunda just creates the foundation for us. He's always giving us the critical feedback whenever we don't want to hear it sometimes, but it's all out of love. And in terms of our did you say rival team?
The team that's going to 3-0, I think, is what he's
Yes,
asking.
rival
Oh,
team,
okay,
yes,
yeah.
sir.
No, the rival team's gonna do exactly what we're doing tonight and just cleaning the floor.
Love that.
Respectfully. Respectfully.
Sure.
That is awesome. And then that was Dayts. Pro G Money. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. So again, big shout out to Thunda, Cryptic, and Dayts, especially for giving me the chance that I didn't think I was gonna have. When I got cut, I figured it was like a one and done scenario, and Thunda messaged me and gave me the opportunity to play for his team. And being here playing with Dayts and Thunda is just phenomenal. We're a great team overall. I feel like, honestly, I feel we're probably the best team in this tier. I definitely see us taking home this championship without a doubt. And for the rival team, that's not even a question. It's clean sweep all the way.
Confidence from the sleeper agent boys. Well, thank you for coming on to the desk tonight. I hope this was as fun of an experience for you as it was for me and for Boss and I. Fantastic. And hope to see you guys on stream again.